Ah! It's Christmas. Yeah, fantastic. Merry Christmas, Patreons, for
Merry Christmas,
you guys watching. Yeah, I'm excited. I am a bit upset that I don't have a Christmas jumper.
I mean, you can't quite tell what mine is. For the Patreon subscribers, this is my Christmas Jaws.
Very good. I like the fact that it says "dum dum dum." That's brilliant. That's brilliant.
Onomatopoeia.
That's brilliant. Yeah, there we go. Right, should we record? Should we do a Christmas record?
Bloody Christmas record, special record.
Here we go then. Hello and welcome to an incredibly special festive episode of the O3C podcast, coming to you from the jolly old O3C games in the North Pole. Why not? We are Jonathan Dunn, that's me, and I'm joined by my oldest friend, Chris Dow.
Merry bloody Christmas.
And we are chatting about Christmas games. Right. Announcement, over to you.
Right. It is technically our last plug of the year. I laboured for a good half an hour trying to write an announcement that would fit the format of the 12 Days of Christmas and failed miserably. So instead, I'll just say, please rate and review on any podcast platform that supports it. Please share episodes or articles via our website at o3c.games. And please consider donating either as a PayPal one-off via o3c.games/support or via Patreon, because there has now been 5 full seasons.
Brilliant.
So for just £4 a month at patreon.com, support the two of us with our episode on Christmas Day.
There we go.
The rest is really hard. There's too many numbers.
There's too many numbers.
Where's the relevance of like 12 somethings? I struggle. But anyway, there we go.
Brilliant. Ho, ho, hello, and a very Merry Christmas from us two boys here at O3C Games to all of you merry folk listening around your stuffed turkeys. We hope that you are enjoying the festive season, however you are choosing to experience and or celebrate it. We won't keep you long today, as I'm sure you'll be eager to get back to your platters of cheese, meats, berries and presents, and flagons of beer, wine, mulled mead and orange juice. But we wanted to share our personal Christmas celebrations with each other, with you, as we are opening our doors and our hearts to mine and Chris's video game themed gift exchange. We set each other the gift giving parameters of something you want, something you need, something to wear, and something to read. A small quartet of gifts for each other that also relate to our shared love of video games. I am so excited and happy. I feel like a kid and pig in a candy shop and shit, respectively.
Is this me now?
Before we begin, Chris, is there anything you want to say on this most hallowed of days?
I feel like every year now we conclude by saying, oh, what a year. But a combination of the long tail of COVID, a totally inadequate government, a cost of living crisis, geopolitical conflict, and God knows what else means that it has indeed been a year.
Keep it light.
As you mentioned, we have video games and we have each other.
Yeah.
And I really, really hope that through this show, we've been able to cheer at least a few of you out there up each Monday, even if just for a moment. Today is not a Monday, but it is a Christmas. And I'm very much looking forward to exchanging the gifts as set in the parameters you mentioned on this very special day.
Oh, so should we skip the crackers and go straight to the presents?
Yeah.
I mean, it's what we all want to do on Christmas. We're like, I don't think no matter how old you get, you're sat around Christmas lunch being like, why the hell have we not opened the presents yet? Why are we thinking, oh no, we'll do that after lunch? Why? Just admit the fact that you want to open your cool stuff. No matter how old you are. That's what it's mostly about.
I mean, my family, we do it slightly differently. We have, we open stockings very early in the morning. Okay. Little odds and sods. We then have kind of an extended breakfast where we normally have a mimosa and a sausage roll.
Oh, lovely.
And then after that, we will open our gifts. before we then have a late lunch for dinner. So it's staggered in a different way.
Yeah.
I'd recommend it.
It's been a while since my family, my side of the family, have done like proper Christmas presents, because we sort of reached a point where we were like, right, it's just expensive to buy everyone something, and you probably don't need it. If you do need it, you can probably afford it yourself anyway. So we've just done like Secret Santa around the family, and each year, you get pulled a random, just one person to then spend 20 quid. I think it's like the limit there, and that's really, really nice. However, now that there is another generation of my family coming into the mix, with my daughter, with my nephew, and maybe more at some point, I don't know. I'm really excited about sort of coming out of that phase and coming back into, let's just spend so much money on so much shit and wrap it all up and make a terrible mess unwrapping it, never using it other than for a week. Having said that, I can't think what we've got, Nora. Nothing.
No, I'm sure she has a bounty of wonderful gifts.
It's going to be, it's just going to be, now that I've got a little daughter of my own, it's just going to be lovely to spoil her and to see that sense of magic in her eyes on this special day. Hey, let's see some special in each other's eyes. something you want, something you need, something to wear, and something to read. In an attempt to drum up a bit of a dramatic arc to this episode, we're going to do those in reverse order. Oh. So, Chris, would you like to take your something to read present and bust it open?
I would. Now, I'll try and do this as visually excitingly as possible for anyone watching via Patreon. My something to read looks like a giant Toblerone. So,
can you read a Toblerone, Chris?
Well, you can get them printed with custom names, can't you?
Oh, yeah.
Could have put a very long video game themed joke on there. Right, we're opening. Apologies for rapping noises for anyone that suffers from misophonia.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
But you're welcome to those ASMR fans.
Oh. At the top, it says 100 games. Oh, I've got an idea now. This is a scratch-off bucket list. 100 games, scratch-off bucket list. And on the back, I don't know if it will reveal that many. Oh, we got a few on there.
You're going to have to open it. You're going to have to... Well, I mean, not probably right now. Well, you do that whilst I tell you a little bit about why I got you this. I took the term of something to read, I mean, fairly loosely, but there are a lot of words on it, and it's fairly useless if you don't read it. So this is, it's a big scratch-off poster of the 100 essential video games you have to play. Now, I know that you can probably scratch off about 90% of these already, but I'm setting you the challenge to start from scratch. Pretend you haven't played any of these, replay them over the next 60 years or so. You can enjoy refreshing your memory of them, scratching them off when you have done so. And if you're really up for a challenge, you can try and complete all of them. I did have a look at some of the games that were on there. Dark Souls 2 is on there, I did see.
Won't be finishing that one.
May well, not with that attitude.
Well, we've got a good range. Like, I've only unrolled the first couple sort of lines here because I don't want to throw it all over my messy table. But we've got some ancient classics or now, modern retro classics like Tomb Raider, Time Crisis 2 that I played just at the arcade club just the other week. Moving up a row, we've got things like San Andreas, GTA, the original Space Invaders, Uncharted 2, Among Thieves.
Oh, yeah.
So there's a good range on here.
Yeah.
So, like you say, there's probably, if I was going just purely at it in terms of what I've had some experience of, I might have a pretty good hit rate. But I do like the idea of actually having to start and consider these properly.
Yes.
And, having a little line review at least about each one as I go and seeing how I get on.
Wonderful. There we go.
Thank you.
It's a similar gift to what I was given. This isn't going to go in the episode, but I was given one of these by Nora for Christmas last year, which was a 100 things to do with Dad bucket list.
How many have you got through?
Well, this is the thing. Like there are several that I'm like, oh yeah, I can tick that off, that we've done that. But I want them to be kind of considered activities. So even though I could be like, oh yeah, we have picked fruit because we picked some blackberries off a bush once. I'm like, no, actually, I'm going to find a time for me and her to go fruit picking properly and do that.
That'd be lovely.
And so we've scratched off go to a farm. Because we did that.
That was recent, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was what we did for our holiday in the summer. So it's nice to do that, like mindfully.
Would you like to open a gift?
I'd bloody love to. Chris has got creative with the labels on these, so rather than something you want, something you need, something to wear, and something to read, it is something you desire, something you require, something you perspire in, and something for when you retire to bed, which I think is the something to read tenuous link.
Yes.
It's they're all wrapped in nice non-capitalist brown paper,
eco-friendly.
Yeah. Right,
here we go.
Exciting. I'm not going to do that parent thing where I've got to, wrapped it well. because you aren't able to.
You've done it as a joke.
I know. That's my way of satiating it. Oh my goodness me! What an absolute find! What this appears to be is an adventure game book based on the classic video game Lemmings.
That's correct.
The Genesis Quest, which not only is brilliant because it means I can listen to Genesis whilst I'm working my way through this. Is this like a choose your own adventure book?
Yes, yeah.
Like we were talking about the other day with Demon Quest. Unbelievable. That is extraordinary.
So this popped into my head when I was playing Sunless Sea. I mentioned that it felt to me, at least, as a board game heathen, it reminded me of an old adventure game book, because that was kind of the point of reference I had for that kind of thing. I'm not a big traditional reader these days, and I was struggling to think of like a book or similar that I thought, A, you'd enjoy, or B, that was still at least game adjacent. And then midway through crashing my little trawler into some eldritch horror, my brain made the connection that an adventure game book is still a book. And whether its subject matter was directly tied to a game franchise, I thought that was still suitably gamey.
Yeah.
But what luck then, that after a little Googling, I found an adventure game book that I was half expecting you to say you had it as a child and that you used to carry it in dog-eared to Upton Junior School show and tell.
I mean...
it just felt like a very Jonathan Dunn thing to have.
Yeah, it absolutely does. Like, seeing the cover... I don't think I did have this, but seeing it feels very familiar.
Yeah.
And I think that's just because it's absolutely spot on.
I have no idea if Lemmings translates well to a game book format. In fact, I'd assume not, given how a Lemmings game is played. But I am genuinely excited to find out.
I cannot wait.
Eagle-eared listeners may recall me using the Genesis Quest as my opening sting a few weeks ago. And if anyone in the world made the connection to this book rather than a weird amalgamation of the American name for the Sega Mega Drive and one of Jonathan's favourite prog rock bands, please do reach out, because you'd probably fit in very, very well here.
Absolutely extraordinary. Well, what can I say? You've raised the bar very high with this one. Consider me incredibly impressed.
Good stuff.
Something to wear.
Yes.
Chris.
Right. We've got some gingerbread men paper this time.
Yeah, all different wrappers.
Wrapped like a flat croissant.
That is what I was going for.
Here we go. Revealing. Or we have what looks like a series of socks that are all themed around particular arcade games. So we have a bit of Pong, or Shuttlecocks, if you've been playing Arcade Paradise.
Hey, all my socks Pong already.
We've got Space Invaders.
Oh, yeah.
With the ship at the other end of the sock, I've just noticed. And we have, of course, a Tetris sock.
Of course. Absolutely.
The most important.
Of course. Absolutely,
the most important.
So, I mean, I always think that I'm quite lucky in my self-employment that I can basically wear pretty much whatever I want when I'm working, if that's an Arsenal shirt or like a Bloodborne hoodie or a Dark Souls hoodie like I've got on right now, or a glow-in-the-dark Animal Crossing t-shirt that I decided to wear to filming a piece at the National Dance Company of Wales, forgetting that I was going to be filming in incredibly low light for the entire thing. So you just saw Blather's appalled face just illuminated on my chest, surrounded by tarantulas and scorpions, as soon as we started filming. But that means I can basically bring like little pieces of joy with me wherever I go. And I know it's not quite the same when you're a teacher, because there are certain sort of rules. But I thought socks is like the perfect place for you to stash away a little teaser of something you love. So even if you've got an Ofsted inspection going on and you're in a full suit, you can still have some Tetris or Pong socks surreptitiously under your pressed trouser.
Absolutely. I mean, I often wear an undershirt, especially in the winter, because it's quite cold. And when I choose my T-shirts in the morning, that basically fulfills that function as well. Like something that it's like, this is me underneath a shirt that I'm using to cover up me whilst I take on the teacher persona for the day. So yes, thank you very much. I mean, any Tetris goods are wonderful.
Exactly.
But I've got some other representation of some older games as well is lovely too.
I was really glad, like they're sort of the place I bought them from. They've got a whole collection of different ones, and you can't really choose which ones you get. Apart from like you could choose the main one. So I knew that I was getting Tetris ones. So I was like, that's the most. But then like the other two pairs were going to be from like a lucky dip. But I was really hoping the Pong ones were in there just because I thought they were really, really cool. Yeah. So
Very, very snazzy. Very, very snazzy.
Very snazzy indeed. Love a pair of socks. You love a pair of socks. And so you've got 6 feet, so 3 pairs of socks.
What have you got in your parcel as something to perspire in?
Some sort of sweating shirt, I imagine. Could be. There's a heavy cotton T-shirt. And... Oh, that is just incredible. What an absolute find. This is a T-shirt with a big old tortoise on it that just says dog. And this is in reference to the numerous amount of giant tortoises that appear around the Elden Ring game world. And literally, I mean, every single one has probably got about 500 online user written notes dropped next to them that just say dog, and it's funny every time, and this is absolutely wonderful. That is what a brilliant find. I'm surprised. I'm surprised. Like one, I don't know whether or not you got far enough into the game in order to find a reference to that yourself.
I think I did.
Yeah, but then also that you, absolutely brilliant.
The other thing is I am interminably online.
That is true.
So my opening salvo for this gift was going to be Pokemon themed socks. That's what I was starting as a baseline.
Fantastic.
But I didn't want to be the basic bitch who gave you, like a relative you only see at Christmas who remembers you're a boy who probably likes games, like a pair of woolens that was like, oh, it's got Pikachu on the heel. So I wanted to find something else. So I went delving specifically for Elden Ring related merch. Incredible. And I was at first reasonably confident I could find something that would be emblazoned with a phrase like "you laggardly sort" across it. So that was what I was looking for. But when I came across the tortoise dog meme made fresh on a T-shirt, the hunt was over. That's what I wanted.
That's it.
Like for the time I was playing Elden Ring, one of my favourite bits was the asynchronous messaging system that lets you leave those helpful or sometimes very unhelpful messages anywhere in the world. And what I really liked is that you have to do it from that pool of words or phrases. Yeah. So you have to be quite creative to either be helpful or to kind of make jokes. It's like a layer of, you have to try. Yeah. And although I didn't put anywhere near the time that you did in the game, that running joke that the community would just label every animal, but starting with the tortoise just as dog, never stopped making me laugh across the 40 or so hours I played. And I genuinely don't know, and please elucidate me if you do, if this meme comes from the outstanding clip in the first Borat film where he asks gesturing to a tortoise, what kind of dog is this? Or if it's just a case of kind of strangely parallel evolution of humour. But either way, I think it's very funny in either context.
It is, yeah. I mean, I hadn't made that connection with Borat, which is weird, because I know that, all of that Borat stuff incredibly well, and I've never made that. I've never made that link. But
so it could be just separate. These things do happen.
Yeah, sheep rolling over cattle grids.
Exactly. I am also very happy to gift this shirt for you in size medium, which is an amazing testament to the incredible resolve and dedication you've shown this year to become John a Slim Dunn. And you look absolutely amazing. I'm really, genuinely proud of you. You've done an incredible job.
That's very kind indeed. And it has been like the thing I asked for my birthday from my parents was some vouchers for some clothes shops, because I was like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to go and buy myself some new clothes, because these are hanging off these raggedy bones.
Raggedy bones.
Very much appreciated indeed. Thank you, mate. Very nice indeed. Moving on, something you need. Tiny little box.
This is a tiny little box. It's got a little rattle to it. I don't know how well the microphone will pick that up. Okay.
Shouldn't do. Oops. I'm kidding.
Blame Royal Mail.
Ugh.
Okay, we have a nondescript box here. Was it something you need?
Something you need, yeah.
Okay, we have apt or appointment 9 on the front. I don't recognise what that is.
No, it's totally irrelevant.
Oh, hang on. Okay, inside this, there is what appears to be a USB stick.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not going to tell me too many hints so far. And a little message that I will unfold very slowly to build the tension. Okay, this says, Chris's gaming meditation playlist. And what this appears to be is, I would say, a custom mixtape in the modern USB stick era of 10 tracks that you have chosen to help meditate whilst playing games, essentially, to get in a good headspace. Yeah. And I know it's going to be a banger, because straight away my eyes are drawn to track 3, Aquatic Ambience from Donkey Kong Country.
You don't put that on a cassette if you if you can't back it up with 9 other great ones.
So some of the other games we have selection from Breath of the Wild, Octopath Traveler, which I haven't played, but I know you and Minty were big fans of the soundtrack. Donkey Kong Country, as said, The Wind Waker. I know the song from Shining the Holy Ark. Is the West Shrine the opening stage?
No, it's not. No, that's Desire Mine. The one that I used to play on piano. In year 7 on the keyboards.
We then have what I know to be a beautiful song, 1 AM from Animal Crossing New Leaf, a track from Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Ori and the Blind Forest, another from Octopath Traveler, and Xenoblade Chronicles to finish as well. I'm very, very excited to put this on and play probably very, very soon when I'm thrust back into doing some schoolwork.
Yeah.
But that is a really lovely, thoughtful, curated musical gift to go along. And I think, as you say, something that I do need.
I think it's something I thought, basically my thought was like, what does Chris need? Chris needs a break. Some time to slow down, breathe, chill out. It's music that's made up of tracks that I've found particularly soothing or relaxing, and meditation isn't specific sort of specific act of meditation is something that isn't for everybody, and people can reach the same end goal of structured meditation by doing many other things, even if it is just to whack on an hour of gentle music whilst you're doing a gentle activity or something that would otherwise be sort of fairly uninspiring. Hopefully it will help elevate it, and I hope that this will go a little way to help bring you a little more peace and calm into your life in 2023.
I hope so too. I need it.
A thank you to O3C Patreon Casper for helping me put that together as well.
Oh, I have to give him a nudge and say thank you as well.
I got some suggestions from him which is nice.
Top stuff.
Also, I didn't want to go again, I'm not going to put this in, but if you just Google like video game music to meditate to, there's like 10-hour mixes of all kinds of things. And I was like, no, I'm not gonna. I was like, and I wanted it to all come from games that I'd played as well, so that you know that I've got a connection to it as well, and hopefully that will help sort of give it a bit of emotional reinforcement.
Yeah, it's like a nice arm around me as I'm working.
That's exactly what I want.
Jonathan on my shoulder.
Yeah.
Lovely. So,
something I require.
It is. Now, this one, I'm hoping that it stayed intact in transit.
Wow. Something I need.
Something you need.
Appears to be a frame. Oh. Oh, mate, you're just too wonderful, aren't you? Look at that. This is a framed Game Boy cartridge of the original Jurassic Park, the very first game that I ever owned, and officially my 100th favourite video game of all time, all time. That is beautifully done. That is beautifully done.
This is a gift with a dual meaning, because of course you need a copy of Jurassic Park on the Game Boy. Like, that much should be very obvious. But more than that, this gift represents the importance for everyone to hold on to the things they find dear, no matter how silly or inconsequential they may seem to others. And Jurassic Park, as you've just said, was the game that capped your revised top 100 games list. And it remained in post as other better games slid clean off the table.
Yeah.
I mean, having played the thing for the first time recently, I can confidently say the game, regardless of format, would not earn a place for me on my list. But it represents something very particular for you, just as Bomber Raid does for me. And I think that's the thing to hold on to, because in the whole games pantheon, there are so many experiences to explore, yet everyone will have these nuggets wrapped in nostalgia and personal context that are just really vitally important external to their quality. And more than this being about Jurassic Park at all, it's also meant to represent games more broadly and their place in your life and my life and everyone's life. Because when I was a younger man, there would definitely have been periods of my life where I'd present myself maybe differently, because, you know, you just feel less confident that those around you are going to share the interests of you and the things that you enjoy. Like, I've never not played games at any point in my life, but there have definitely been times when I would have hidden how much I enjoyed and played games to try and offer like a slightly censored version of myself I thought someone else might have wanted. When asked, for example, how I spent an evening away from a girlfriend, like years and years back, I might have offered something like a half embarrassed, I played a game for a little bit, when in reality, I drilled down into the back end of a Game Boy Advance emulator for 5 hours because Sonic Advance didn't quite play right. Now, for the last decade at least, I've just been brutally honest with anyone I've come across. You know, if someone asked, I'd be like, yeah, I faffed about finding artwork for an emulation library for 12 hours. Or I stayed up far too late on a school night because I wanted to watch a live stream of limited run game Switch announcements. Or I played a game I didn't even enjoy for a full weekend because I am broken in the head. Now, Jurassic Park here represents that feeling of personal acceptance that I hope everyone reaches at some point in their lives. Like, to be who you are, you know, to own the person that's Chris or Jonathan or whoever you might be, and to really celebrate the little talismans that make you, you. And Jurassic Park makes you, you. And so it's there.
That's wonderful. Oh, I love it so much. I love it. Honestly, every single time I look at that, it's going to make me smile, no matter what.
Good.
That is absolutely brilliant. I wonder if I've got my original cartridge somewhere.
I don't know.
It won't be in as good condition as that is.
Teeth marks in it from when you failed the T-Rex stage for the 50th
Probably,
time.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. That is just absolutely brilliant. Wonderful. Wonderful. Oh, I'm gutted I can't come and give you a hug.
Through the internet, across the countries.
Yeah. What I can give you is something you want.
Now, this one is in a just a nice red envelope.
Christmas red envelope.
Let's find out.
Probably a bottle or something.
Okay, we have a Gaming Santa Christmas card. So relevant in and of itself. And inside...
Empty.
Oh! This is... This is my admit one ticket for my next trip to the arcade club.
Yeah.
Which is never something I don't want in my life. As I said the other week, I would go back the following weekend if I could have made the trip then. But to know, like in my back pocket, that it's not something I even have to plan that last stage is a truly wonderful gift. So that's fantastic. I will definitely make use of that. There is no way I won't. I will message my brother now, who I normally visit with, and say, we're planning the next one, son. We're going to get that sorted. You can pay for your own ticket this time, brother.
I mean, I sort of weighed it up between this gift being something you want, but also it is something you need. Yeah. It was difficult for me thinking like something you want. I was like, because you've got an enormous video games collection, you've got all the hardware you want and all of this stuff. And I was like, but that experience, you want that, you need that. And that's not something that you can put on your shelf.
It's not.
And the next one's on me. And I would very much like it if the next one would be with me as well.
That'd be fantastic.
I am yet to experience it, and especially in light of your recent visit and the expansion that you said is happening in the spring. That feels like it's the time for me to finally gird my loins and talc my shoes and join you in your pilgrimage to Bury.
Yeah, let's do it.
We'll make a weekend of it. Record some special episodes of the podcast while we're up there as well. Make a proper old time of it.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be fantastic. Thank you very much for my four gifts. You're truly lovely things to
You are
open.
so welcome. You are so welcome. Something I desire.
Something you desire, and you do desire this.
It's very small.
It is.
Very small, but I do. The biggest love I have is for very small things like my wife and my daughter. And my penis. Cut that. Christmas. Here we go. Something I want. What is it? Oh.
Now you need to unveil the little packet.
Oh my goodness. This is a shiny pseudo-widow Pokemon card. And it's in a pack with some others as well.
And what else
do we have here? We have just 10 more pseudo-widows.
So something you want. It's, as you've just established, it is 10 pseudo-widow Pokemon cards.
10 pseudo-widow Pokemon cards.
1 is shiny, 9 are not.
Incredible.
You might not have even realised you wanted them, but deep in your heart, you've always wanted them. You were born wanting them. If anything, you probably want more of them. Look on eBay now. Go on. How many could you buy if you just hoovered the site's entire stock?
Stop it.
Stop it. Maybe there's a local game or collectible shop in Cardiff where you could acquire more. Probably. At what stage would you become more pseudo-widow card than man?
That's a very good point.
As a disclaimer, pseudo-widow, when the fun stops, stop.
It's so popular with the elderly that there's a magazine devoted to this Pokemon. Fans obsess over the particular length and angle of its arms. Now, this shiny pseudo-widow card, given that was the first one out of the pack, this has the honour of being the very first Pokemon card that I've ever owned.
Did you never own them as a kid?
I never opened that door because I knew that I would do nothing else for the rest of my life but collect them.
Well, don't do that. Don't do that. Just collect the pseudo-widows.
Is a beautifully wrapped slippery slope. I'll very happily leave it at pseudo-widow.
Yes.
Because that's what life begins and ends with pseudo-widow.
I think so.
Absolutely extraordinary. Absolutely extraordinary. I want to see what the little blurb says on the other one.
Yeah, they are different, aren't they? The non-shiny and shiny version.
If a tree branch shakes when there is no wind, it's a pseudo-widow, not a tree. Oh, hang on a minute. No.
Was that move?
No, it's not. I just misread a comma and made it sound profound. If a tree branch shakes when there is no wind... What? This makes no sense. If a tree branch shakes when there is no wind, it's a pseudo-widow, not a tree. It hides from the rain.
Well...
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's just a fact, isn't it?
It's a show about learning.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for my gifts as well. Absolutely lovely, wonderful, heartfelt, and I love you very much.
I love you too.
Before we go, what are you going to be playing over the festive period?
Oh, I've got a couple options for Christmas. I did get a copy of Sonic Frontiers during Black Friday. Because it went down to like 25 quid for the PlayStation 5 edition, and I've been interested to check it out. I feel pretty confident it's going to be shit, but it's not stopped me before, and I may be surprised.
Yeah.
The other game, and one far more likely, because it's more in my regular wheelhouse, I've started playing the old Dreamcast racer, Tokyo Extreme Racer, again.
Okay.
But this time, I found out that via emulation, I can play it in perfect widescreen, when it never supported that before, with all manner of other visual tweaks. And
that's nice.
I find it generally such a relaxing game, because you're just racing the same loop of highway, challenging rival cars to little spot races, that already, in between other stuff this week, I've played it for 4 hours. And I'm really tempted to try and grind out the whole thing to actually finish it properly for Christmas as a nice little wind-down treat. It's quite a long game. There's an awful lot of cars to challenge on that little bit of highway, but it's something I've always wanted to do and I've just never committed to fully. So maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll play Sonic. Maybe I'll find some other garbage that no one cares about.
Almost certainly.
What about you? What's on the docket?
Well, I've actually just finished my second playthrough of Pokemon Violet.
And I've madman.
Yeah, I know. I got the Violet Legendary to trade over to my main file.
Yeah.
And then I picked up Mario and Rabbids to finally play.
Good.
Yeah, really, really, really good. I mean, like, they've really expanded the system, the gameplay and the mechanics and everything by several layers. So I know that it's a deep game. It's a big game. It's so beautifully made as well. Like, I mean, obviously it helped that I played it after playing Pokemon Violet. But we remarked about the first Mario and Rabbids game that it was extremely polished for a essentially a third party game.
It was incredible.
It has the polish of a Nintendo first party game. Well, unless you count Pokemon. However, unfortunately, my playing of that has been totally usurped by a new roguelike bullet hell game that came out. It came out in October, and a couple of guys on the Patreon, including Minty, were talking about a game called Vampire Survivors.
And
it's free on phones. You can watch ads to double your rewards at the end of a run, or you can just not pay into it at all and just play it as normal. But I already had it, apparently. Well, I had it in my Steam library, I think, for some reason or another, and it's only about £3 on Steam.
Yeah.
And it is so addictive. It's simultaneously incredibly minimalist and also incredibly maximalist.
Yeah.
Because it's very basic in terms of its presentation. It's very simple, almost like, to be honest, like 8-bit sprites almost. And very basic animations. You spawn into a very, very large map. Waves of enemies come at you. If you kill them, you get a little bit of experience. When you level up, you get to sort of unlock a new skill. And then you can level up those skills, and then more enemies appear, and then on and on and on and on until you die. And it's just brilliant. It's incredibly well balanced. It's really clear and easy to see what you're doing. It doesn't take long before you start to get a bit of a strategy going, when you realise, like, oh, actually, this item is going to work better with this character that I'm playing, and maybe that can synergize with this. And the game is it's so simply made and so simply presented as well. But I cannot recommend it highly enough. It's so much fun. It's got that one more run thing to it. It's got roguelite elements to it as well, so you can upgrade things as you go to make future runs easier, and you unlock harder and harder stages that then unlock more things and then do this. There's even been a bit of DLC that's been released for it now with a whole bunch of new characters and stages and items and stuff like that. And I mean, it's got to be the best value for money you can get, especially if you get it for free on your phone. I think it's going to end up being all I play. I think. I did make a start on The Witcher 5, The Witcher 3 PS5 version, and it looks and plays beautifully. And I also remembered that it's got cross-save functionality between everything. So I can I could be wrong, but I think I can even put my Switch save onto my PC save on my Steam Deck, onto my PS5 save, and I can basically then forget the Switch version, carry on that save file, play it when I'm at home, play it on my PlayStation 5, or just have it on the go on the Steam Deck. Well, that's pretty dangerous.
Yeah, that's a lot of.
That's pretty dangerous.
A lot of witching.
A lot of witching. So yeah, but also there's a lot of vampires that need to survive.
The only thing I've seen really about that game is a lot of people talking about it, saying this is good. But the bit I found most notable is that obviously when indie developers release anything, you've either got to go the route of saying, okay, my game is worth 15, 20 quid, and I'm expecting 100 people to buy it at that price, or my game is worth £1, and I'd like 1,000 people to buy it at that price to kind of make the same amount. And it seems like they went the cheap route, and so far, from everything I've read, they are doing quite well for themselves off the back of that, which is very admirable. Yeah.
It's a good example of like their reach not exceeding their grasp in the way that like we've seen so many developers fall trying to do too much in too little time on too little budget and really making a bit of a mess of it. They've just gone, no, let's do this right, and it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. I'm looking forward to playing more of it later.
Lovely stuff.
There we go. That'll be my Christmas if I can see my Steam Deck under my bloated turkey stuffed belly. Can't wait. So there we go. That was our gift giving and glad tidings special. I hope some of our heartfelt and emotional joy has found its way to you during this Christmas time, and we sincerely hope that whatever you're doing, whoever you're with, you will find time and space to experience a small sliver of joy, peace, kindness, and goodwill. If you want to wish us a Merry Christmas, you can do so on social media. We are at O3C Games on everything, or individually. I'm on Twitter at Jonathan Dunn.
And I am at Chaz_Hodges.
And please do join us next week on New Year's Day for our second seasonal special in a bloody row. As we wrap up the year that has been 2022, we'll be sharing our highlights, our foresights, and possibly our game of the year. Ooh. Hang on a minute. I'm going to just change that a sec, just to say. And please do join us next week on New Year's Day for our second seasonal special in a bloody row.
Seasonal Sean Connery special.
As we wrap up the year that has been 2022, we're going to be sharing our highlights, our foresights for 2023, and what am I going to say? And a change to the initial schedule that I announced last week. I think we're going to save our Game of the Year award special for a whole episode of itself, because there's just too many games to talk about. There's too many games to talk about, and quite honestly, I respect your time.
I don't, but I'm not the editor.
So next week, highlights of 2022. We've got so much to talk about there. It's been a big year. It's been a big bloody year. And the week after that, Game of the Year. Oh my God, it's going to be a fucking corker.
Pop.
There we go.
Right, is that one saved? Oh.